Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Christian over at Voyager. How we doing today? It's for owner operators, by owner operators, bringing you information live and direct. So, for those who don't know us, what we do is gather information across our social media platforms and bring that to you live. We were supposed to actually bring you settlement review date. Yes, that was the event for today. But however, some technical difficulties. We did receive a few settlements just the night before, and as it was kind of getting all put together to share on the screen, I'm not your IT guy, so I don't know exactly why that didn't work out. So we're gonna have to push it for further out so we can actually bring it to you live with sharing the screen so that it is an educational event. But besides that, there are other topics that to talk about. There are plenty of topics in trucking to talk about. So the way we actually pick them is how to solve problems is we just we just simply look around and see what type of problems we're having on a daily basis because we are not the only ones having those. So for my first time owner operators that are out there are plenty of things that you can do to improve your situation as you're searching. And one of them, especially around these days, especially around the holidays, and when a lot of businesses will be closed and so forth, orientation day. When is it best to execute that day? So because what you really want to do and keep in mind is that you want to set up a full week of earning potential. That's kind of your goal, right? So you want to stray away from those Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. Sometimes I'll break it down when Friday is acceptable and when is a half day orientation actually acceptable as well. And what I mean by that. So one of the biggest things that we do here is focus on efficiency, fast tracking, getting individuals on the road. That is the major primary goal. And so it breaks down basically like this. Yeah, Monday is probably going to be the best day to get it done by far. Let's get that going and let's roll out. Because even if have a guy starting on a Monday, and let's say holidays or what is it, Turkey Day coming up on a Thursday, right? He can go out and in and he can do something and generate revenue on the books. All right. And that's even depending. The guy celebrates Turkey Day. Some guys may just want to, ride out and go through it. So everybody's, every mind is a different world. Guys approach it differently. But what we're talking about is the basics and operational. So that you don't run into any type of issues. Right. So here we go. So one of the things that you have to encounter is avoiding sitting for the weekend. That is so detrimental to your bottom line, and you don't want to get your business started off on the wrong foot. So for my people that are buying the trucks, I get it. You're excited. You want to roll out. You've done everything. You've done your, you've designed your business plan. You sat down with the carrier. You worked out the plan, you met the dispatcher, you reviewed settlements already, you know exactly what it takes to make the kind of money that you're looking for. And if you haven't done any of that stuff, you got to give me a call at 863-342-5171. But let's say you already did, and all that's left is to really pick up the truck and get everything going. One of the last things you want to do, my people, is to do an orientation, let's say on a Thursday, and they give you a shore hop or something to deliver on Friday afternoon, and then you're sitting over the weekend. That is the worst thing that can happen to you. I get you're excited. I get you want to get out there and get on the road, but you don't want to do it negligently. And then that first settlement, man, that first check is an emotional, man. And so I've been there plenty of times where it's going to be upsetting. Things cost money. You got an escrow. You probably have a plate deduction or some kind of startup fee, depending on where you actually leased onto. So all those expectations should be clear and there, but it's just something different than to open that settlement check. And I've seen people have a negative balance throughout my career because they actually, they started empty fuel tanks, right? Just got off with the dealer. So they're filling that up. There's only one load. So not just that, then had the plates and all of that. So I've been doing this for some time, and that's what I'm trying to protect you guys from, or at least share this type of information, though, although it seems minimal, it definitely affects you and your business. All right. So you don't want to end up sitting over the weekend. You don't want to do any of that. There are a couple things that can happen. Your truck may not get cleared. So your Friday kind of has a delayed start. And what I mean by that is Um, we've had plenty of guys who the dealer took a little bit too long to get them going. We've also had a situation where they bring the truck over, and then in that interim they find something else that's wrong with the truck, and that kind of further delays it, and then that procrastinates the first load to be going out. So I did talk about breaking up an orientation, and what do I mean by that? So check this out, guys. We're actually doing one of those bad boys today, and let me tell you what it's all about and why we do it. So we're going to actually get two things here going, right? Uh, Number one of the major reasons I may do this, and I've done it in the past, is because the person is actually looking to purchase their own plate. And when they looking to purchase their own plate, there's a couple documents that are required to give the IRP agency so that they can give you the plate. And those documents are generated or produced, right, and signed for during the orientation. So in a situation like that, something's got to give, right? Because he can't get the plate without me, and I can't run him without a plate. So we're kind of stuck in this no man's land. So what we're doing is looking for efficiency. So we're going to bring the individual in, probably do just about half of the orientation, ensuring that in that half we're signing off on everything that individual is going to need, from the insurance and the lease agreement and whatever it is, in order to get his plate. Once the plate is acquired, then the individual actually comes back. We wrap it all up, we decal the truck, and grab a load, and vamos. So that is one scenario in order to move it efficiently. That way we're not burning time, because time is money at this point. So if we can do something to get a couple things out of the way, then that's what we're going to be doing, so that you can get up under that load as quick as possible. So keep that in mind, guys. That is so important. That's definitely one of the biggest things for us. Efficiency. Get some cash flow go into your company. We talk about it all the time. You've already invested in the down payment, you've invested your time, you're in this bad boy to win it, so you want to pay attention to that. All right. So um there'll be some other scenarios where somebody is buying a truck, right? So I've had that with like Aero Truck, Sales Select Truck, even some of the Lone Mountain stuff, right? And so what are some times that I have divided this out, right? So some of the times have been, typically if I'm gonna do it, it's on a Friday, much like today, where the only thing that's going to be left to do is actually Monday for my guy is bring the truck with the decals, boom boom boom, hook up to the trailer, and he's on the load. But instead of finishing at your typical 3 o'clock, obviously he's gonna have a load in the morning sometime. So that's the benefit of it, right? So for him, instead of burning all the day of Monday, this guy's only gonna, he'll be on a load before noon, and it's simply because sometimes what happens is, the dealer's prepping that truck for you. Maybe you found something wrong with that truck, and they got to replace a couple tires for you or something of that nature, or something on their behalf that's not within your control, but you already have all the paperwork on that truck. So what you do is you pack that up in a nice backpack, bring that bad boy to orientation, and now we're just doing everything here. So we're getting everything out of the way that we possibly can without the truck here being here, obviously. But you're prepping all of that now. We're filling everything out. We're completing that. So on Monday, the only thing left to really do is that the individual is going to bring his truck. So that's obviously that. And again, we're going to check out that, we got to put the decals, the ELD, and obviously do that DOT inspection, because our mechanic will take a look at it, right? That's part of the program of what we do. And so now it becomes a very short, what's left is maybe a couple of hours of whatever we have to do. And then my guy could be on a load. So that's being strong and efficient. So now he's going to have a full solid week of earning. I get it. I actually think next week's Turkey Day, right? So I know you're going to have that. So you're definitely going to have that into play. So that's also why we're doing this, so that the guy can go out and in and get some and start to generate some money on the books, or he actually might have a plan with operations to just work through it, right? That just might be his scenario that he's trying to do. All right. So keep that in mind, guys. you definitely sorry about that. You definitely want to pay attention to all of that, and plan accordingly. So even though you're buying the truck, you don't have to wait necessarily to roll metal off that lot in order to start the process, guys. You just got to get linked up with the right people who understand the sense of urgency, both from the onboarding process, both from the dispatching process, from the billing department. Sense of urgency is everything in this business. So you want to make sure that you're aligning this. I get it. There are plenty of companies out there that don't even want to talk to you unless you got everything on the table. But sometimes it could get a little bit confusing while you're picking up this truck and you don't know which document needs to come first. And that's why we're here, my people. It is 863-342-5171. We're here to help out. All you got to do is make that call, a little bit of investment on your time, and or feel free to stop by our office. I even rather that if you can. 3180 Mulford Road in Mulberry. That's 33860. Let's talk about it. We've been in plenty of situations where both from Arrow and Lone Mountain. You got guys that are buying the trucks and now they're having trouble closing the deal because the company, that the carrier that they were originally going to go with, they're just dragging their feet. Whether it's because, I don't know, they're just ineffective, inefficient, or they don't know what they're talking about, just causing major delays for a couple people, right? The owner operator is trying to get his business started and get some cash flow going to his company, so you have a delay there. uh, they want to close. There's a couple of things. They want this guy to buy this truck and take it off the lot. Why? Because I'm sure if anything past 30 days, they're probably going to start, banks are going to start to ask a lot more questions. Hey, I need an updated bank statements. I need this, I need that. So a lot of what has been done is probably going to have to get redone, and that's time, inefficiency. They probably want that sale on the books. So there's, and that's rightfully so. That's their business. That's how they make money. That's how they eat. So it's about paying attention to that. There's a lot of business. There's a lot of people trying to make money here. There's a lot of people doing their best business practices. So everybody's got to do their part for this trucking thing to work and for it to be successful for you. So do pay attention to that. Those are all the details that matter. Guys, 863-342-5171. Please give us a call. And the reason I'm saying that is a lot of times, guys, I have had people at a dealership actually, just to get the roll down metal, or I've had people buy the wrong plate. As silly as that sounds, yes, they thought they were buying an IRP and they actually bought a local tag, wasting money. Because they try to do it without asking a few questions. It's not difficult, but they're just silly mistakes. And when they're silly mistakes, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you some money. And that's the thing about trucking, right? Nothing is free. So the mistakes come with a cost. And what we're trying to do is educate so that you can avoid these costly things, because they definitely add up, and they add up pretty quick. So I can't tell you how many times I've had been in orientation where the individual, sometimes they thought they could work with a template because they were misguided by the person making the sale. Possibly the sale was out of state, and that temp tag that was able to get him home, he's under the impression that that's going to be a tag that you can run, and work with. So don't make that mistake. So sometimes you will get a paper plate, right? The paper plate that goes on the window. But guys, pay attention. The difference is that one will list all the states. So you're going to see all the states, that are on that IRP there. The temp tag is just a temp tag from the dealer. It's not to work with. It's just to port the truck home. You picked it up, you take it home, or you're taking it to the place that you're going to onboard with the carrier. There's an extra step that comes along with that. All right. So guys, these are all simple mistakes, but if you don't know, you don't know, because you've just never done it before, so you've never been exposed to it. So it's just new, and it's probably a little complicated and a little confusing only the first time. And then after that, it's pretty much smooth sailing. You've done it once, you've done it 1,000 times. It's one of those deals, but again, you want to pay attention to that. Hey, good morning, Timothy. How you doing today? Hope everything is well. So guys, do pay attention to that. It's so important to your business. So again, the number one day that we feel you should be doing that orientation and getting out is on that Monday. Especially if you're banging it all out in one day, you want to get that done. If you end up in that position for the sake of efficiency, you want to actually that you break up an orientation. You want to be doing that first half on a Friday, so that you can just do that simple piece on Monday morning, right? So we got a couple of those guys. They're just going to come in, decal, ELD, all of that, but they've gone through the billing, they've downloaded their apps. It's just a matter of signing in and just hitting the road. So you want to do as much as you can and remain effective. So we've done that plenty of times. It just depends on your scenario. So if you are that guy that is looking for a little bit of that diversity or a little bit of that wiggle room and efficiency because of the way, when you're picking up your truck, because of the holidays, and you gave a week notice to your current company, and now you can only pick it up on a certain day. I got a lot of guys who like to transition where they never miss a paycheck. And they kind of just left that company. Hey, they're in it, and they're in it to win it. So no days off. So what my man does is, finishes up on Friday, and then he comes in and he's ready to rock and roll. So what I've done in those situations is where the guy took the day off, comes in, does that part. So the next time we see him, boom, he's got his truck, and all we got to do is decal in the second half, and he never missed. He's always had a paycheck coming in. So again, that's a guy, who thought about it. That's a guy who has a business plan. That's that person who was actually setting everything up in order to be successful. So you want to make sure you're doing the same thing. His plan may not work for you, but the idea behind it is you design your plan based around your needs and what's going to be most effective, most efficient for you. We're just here to help everybody out. We can design a plan to, who's ever there. So whatever you need. So 863-342-5171, my people, give us a call. We'll let you know. Please, guys, don't forget, smash that like button. It definitely helps the algorithm get this kind of content right in front of the right people who need to see it. So please smash that. Do me a solid. I would definitely appreciate that. I got 9 people watching, only 5. Come on, man. Four more people. Smash that like button for me. So that's going to help us out tremendously. And, it will push the algorithm. So paying attention to those details, guys, you gotta make sure you avoid sitting over that weekend. You do not want to fall into that position. And even picking up your truck has to be designed on a certain day. We actually have a guy picking up a truck. I want to say in Georgia. So he lives in Georgia. So we're actually planning it accordingly, even though it's going to be that holiday weekend. We're going to maximize the time. We're going to maximize the opportunity on how to get this done. So really what's going to happen is, the guy will probably pick up that truck on that Friday, because that's the best move possible, right? He's want to complete he's going to work until Wednesday because he's got that turkey day. Call it a day there, and that's it. And then he's picking up his truck, and then he'll show up on a Monday morning. So that's efficient on a couple ends, right? On the number one end is his current job. He's not taking a full week off. He understands that he needs that money. So what he's going to do is work it out to that Wednesday. That's 3 days of pay. That's better than no pay. So my hat goes off to him. He's going to spend the time with the turkey day, and then on that Friday, he's going to go pick that bad boy up. So he's going to pick it up, get it under his belt. Now he has the weekend to prep. So anything he's got to put into that truck, anything that, all these small little things, and make it right, so that on Monday, this guy's ready to hit the road. And when he's out, he's out. There's no going by the house anymore to pick up this or pick up that, inverters or any fridges or anything like that. He actually planned it strategically so that he can come out winning. So guys, when you're doing this, especially around the holidays, if you need a little bit of help, definitely give us a call at 863-342-5171. So I wanted to come out here and drop that because that's something that we've been dealing with in this past couple of days. We're actually planning around our orientations. We're being creative and dynamic, and just so we can get these guys in and get them on the road. So I may end up doing an orientation practically, Monday and Tuesday. So we'll see how it works out. We're just waiting on some drug test results in order to plan it accordingly. But nevertheless, if you are in a similar situation and need a personalized plan in order to get on the road and get out there and get efficient, but nobody can give you the answers, guys, it is 863-342-5171. give us a call. We're here to help out. We will see you there. It is a pretty busy day today. I got to get back to my day job, so I just wanted to jump on real quick and tell you some of the things that we're ironing out as we're moving along and trying to make next week the most effective week for our guys, keeping their utilization up so that they're making they're making that money that they need, and they're being efficient and effective at what they do, and that's being business owners. Okay, my people. So I want to say thank you. Be safe, drive safe. We will catch you on Monday. Remember, the settlement review event has been pushed out for 1 week due to technical difficulties, but we will get that in front of you as soon as we can. All right, my people, be good and stay blessed.